Hello and welcome to another episode of the Marketing Chinwag. My name's Matt Thorpe from Grasshopper UK.
I'm Paul Gully from Elevated Online.
And we are here to help you grow your business digitally, to make sure that you don't waste any money and you do the right things and you kind of learn from our mistakes, really. So today we want to talk about email marketing and how important it is for your business, and talking about data capture. Now, one of the sort of the key mistakes that we see businesses making time and time again is that they fail to focus on the email marketing side. Now, obviously, Paul is big in the social media area. I'm big on things like paid advertising and SEO. And there's lots of kind of marketing activities you can do with your business, which are perhaps more sexy than email marketing. And email marketing, you know, people think, oh, it's old, no one answers email anymore. And that's not actually true. Email marketing is still one of the most powerful marketing mediums out there, and it's something that both Paul and myself are very passionate about, because it's easy to generate revenue. Got my tongue tied there. I've had too much coffee this morning. So, Paul, in terms of kind of when you sort of work with somebody and sort of you set up their website, and obviously the first thing that you need to do is make sure that they're capturing data, because obviously if they don't capture data, all those visitors are lost.
Exactly, yeah. So, you've got to have your call to actions and things like that. So one of the most popular ones normally is, sign up to our newsletter and things like that. That's perhaps a bit old hat, and you might want to do something a bit different. So recent ones we've been working on are things like, downloading fact sheets or some sort of giveaway kind of thing that's going to give people some information and stuff like that. But you've got to make sure you're collecting their data so they don't get it for nothing kind of thing. You at least want some email addresses and their name and perhaps a phone number. So yeah, just trying to integrate that certainly on the homepage. Just have that as your call to action.
Yeah, and I think what Paul said at the start there is really important, is give them a reason to sign up. Okay, so the whole point of capturing an email address is to get them into your marketing funnel, so to speak, or kind of start a relationship with them. Now, if you just try and get all their data or too much and ask their inside leg measurement, people are going to run a mile. Okay, so sometimes you have to do this gently. Sometimes it's name and email address, and then you have to kind of migrate to a phone number. But it really depends what you're trying to achieve with your business. Are you trying to get people onto an email list, so as I say, you can nurture those people and then warm them up? Or are you actually looking to generate leads? So regardless of what it is you are trying to do with your pages or your site, you need to give them a decent reason to sign up. So think about what is going to be valuable to your customers. So if it's I've got a customer, for example, that sells timber garages, and the key thing that they provide as downloads is price lists and a brochure, because it's not it's a considered purchase. You don't just make a sort of 10, 20 grand purchase on an impulse. And quite often, the thought of putting too many details into a website is quite scary, because you're going to be called, you're going to be emailed, and people are scared of salespeople. So think about that kind of gently approach, in my opinion, and think about, right, prices, what can I do? Don't be afraid to share your prices, and brochures. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Gently is always good. So, even with email marketing, is to try and approach it pretty much as you would do with other sort of areas where you're planning and strategizing your marketing. So it's that kind of warming them up, isn't it? That the first point of contact might be you're giving them something, so it's a free download or some information, and then it's that start of the relationship. So you kind of then take them on a bit of a journey. Maybe you've got a sort of three-pronged attack. So they might get 3 emails or something like that, where they're getting warmed up, then they get a bit more information and background about, what's available and stuff like that. And then you move them to the kind of salesy, the side of it as well.
Exactly. So what Paul's discussing there is like a welcome series. So think about it. Think about it as someone you've just met walking down the street. You can't just go and immediately sell something to them. So what you need to do is you need to kind of introduce them to you. Build that trust over time. And when I say over time, it might be a case of, it might be 3 days, it might be 5 days, it might be 7 days, whatever. It might be a month or 60 days or whatever. But you can send automated emails very easily on something like MailChimp. And it just means that you can kind of, as I say, guide people through that process. And regardless of what products you're selling or what service you're selling, it means that you're not shoving it down their throat, because if you try and shove it down their throat, they are going to run a mile. Now, the key thing with email marketing, like I said, it's not sexy. It doesn't sound sexy, but the results can be very sexy. It can be very, very expensive to run paid ads all the time. And obviously you can lose opportunity. So if you're doing a lot of activity on social media, you're doing offline marketing as well, every visit to your website is effectively costing you money or time and money. If you're spending a lot of time doing your own work on your social media channels. So you want to make sure that you are making the most of every single visit. So if you've got, say, 100 people coming to your website, not all of those people are going to inquire straight away. Not all of those people are going to buy something. But obviously, if you can capture an email address of those people that have got a little inkling of interest, that means that you can carry on that relationship and work on those people and make them feel like, make them realize that they need your service.
Yeah, totally. It's all about whatever you're doing, especially with email marketing. It's that starting the journey and the relationship with the customer. So keep that forefront all the time, that you want to build a rapport with them rather than trying to ram it down their throat kind of thing.
Exactly. And as I say, you can automate this. So something like MailChimp, regardless of whether you're tech savvy, it doesn't matter whether you're tech savvy, because there are people you can hire to do that. Not just us, obviously, but there are lots of people who can help you write the emails, who can, set it up in MailChimp. It's very, very easy, but you can have a system that's completely automated. So when people land on your site, they sign up maybe through a pop-up or just a form on a page, whether it's your homepage or whether it's even a blog post. And then once they've signed up, they can get sent these triggered emails, and then over time, they'll eventually warm up and obviously pick up that phone or send another email. Now, one of the benefits of, not a benefit of kind of email marketing, is that it is so cheap. Now, Paul obviously runs a social media agency, so he's an expert in social media. I work on the SEO side and obviously paid campaigns, but not everybody, wants to spend money on those sorts of activities. So, but with email, it literally is peanuts to send. You can, you own that relationship. Once you've got that person's email address, you can contact them whenever you want, as long as you don't obviously abuse it. And clearly you have to make sure that you don't break any GDPR rules. So you have to make sure they're opted in to receive communications from them, and then obviously give them the option to opt out. But it also means, as I say, you can own that relationship and you can send regular emails to those customers at your leisure, and it costs next to nothing. So it's worth looking at, say, MailChimp, maybe ActiveCampaign. Klaviyo is another one. We can put these in the description below. Paul, any others that you've used in the past?
Aweber is quite a good one as well, and that integrates really well with WordPress and stuff. So if you've got a WordPress website, Aweber, MailChimp's probably the main one most people think of. I think there was one other I used years ago called .mailer, which was a lot more kind of professional sort of thing. I don't know how that's been developed. I've not kept up with it over the last couple of years or so.
And Paul, if someone needs help on the email side, lining up the emails in this platform, they need help writing the emails, they need creative help, where do you think there's a sort of best place to get that from?
Besides us, I think obviously a lot of
what I was lining up to, though. That's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to do that.
No, I think there's probably there's good resources on things like HubSpot, because that's a free resource with CRM. You can do email marketing on there as well, actually.
Yep.
So I'd say have a look at their blog. They cover loads of stuff on digital marketing and email and everything, really, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about as well. So HubSpot's a great place to start.
And in terms of actually creating the emails, do you think so? Like people per hour or somewhere people can find, help and resource on there? There's always some kind of freelancers all around the world who are very affordable with some really superb skills. I mean, we were talking about people per hour earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely. People per hour is a good one, and Fiverr they're probably the main two that I come across. You can pick people up that'll work for an hour and set you up an email template and things like that. So it doesn't have to be expensive, even if you can't or don't want to do it yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. So I say the key thing is, email is very easy to actually execute. Like Paul said as well, you can link that into your CRM system. So if you have a kind of HubSpot or something, or a CRM Zoho or something like that, you can link all this so it works in together. So it links from your website. It goes through into your HubSpot, and then obviously it can be triggered emails that go out via HubSpot or via your email platform. And the great thing with email is its return on investment is like 40 times more than any other marketing medium. So it's certainly worth getting on top of your email. It's certainly worth thinking about your customer journey. That's the key thing as well. So when someone lands on your site, what do they need to see? What are the things that are going to kind of hook them in a bit like a fish, and get them interested? And then once they are on your email list, then how do you treat these people? There was a guy that I heard speak years ago, a guy called John Jansch. He actually runs something called the Duct Tape Marketing Podcast. So worth a listen, really good guy. And he taught me that you've got 60 days to turn someone into a kind of from a cold prospect who gets on gets onto your email list, and then you can turn them into kind of a super fan of someone that loves what you do. So it's probably worth, thinking about, right, let's say from the journey, from the start, what do I need to give these people in order to warm them up? And I'm not saying, sell to them from the very start. We're thinking about, we have these conversations, Paul, don't we, about, how can we onboard these people in the right way? So thinking about, about us, about the company, where you've originated from, what was the inspiration behind the business, what are the benefits of using your product or using your service. So think about these, these stages that the people have to go through before they kind of pull that trigger and pick up the phone, or as I say, send an email.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably forget about email when they're looking at stuff because of the rise of social media and everything else. Yeah. So even though obviously social media is something we specialize in, and the websites and that, I always sort of try to get people to integrate email marketing at some point, because like you say, it is such a cheap one that they can run. You can experiment with it, and yeah, I think even though it may have gone a bit quieter for some people, it's still one of the most important ones that you can think about and have as part of your strategy. So again, it's just all down to planning and how you're going to attack it.
It is, and it's also key as well, just to keep an eye on what emails get open, test subject lines, test content, because sometimes some subject lines work and sometimes they don't. Adding a name within a subject line on an email can encourage people to open because it feels more personalized, but it's all about testing different things. And if you've got a list of people already in your business and you're, an email list, and you're not doing anything with it, it's worth kind of, setting this up immediately, because there could potentially be, your data is effectively a gold mine of revenue, gold mine of sales. So if you don't do anything with it, you're wasting opportunities. And obviously, there's lots of competition out there. So if you don't look after your customers and kind of keep communicating with them on a regular basis, your competitors will. So that's probably sort of the thing to think about, and possibly a good ending note, because, we're almost coming up to 15 minutes and we said we were going to try and keep it to 15 minutes.
Yeah, we want to keep them shorter, don't we? So yeah. I think that's a good place to stop.
Fantastic. Okay, Paul, where can people learn more about us?
So we're now on social media. Most of it is at MKTG Chinwag, and it'll be the same on Facebook, or you can just search the Marketing Chinwag. And our website will be coming soon, so we'll confirm that one in due course.
Yeah, exciting times, and obviously we've got our new animation and our new logo up and running as well.
Yeah, so you'll see our cartoons at the beginning and the end. So hopefully they're a bit of cheer in the morning.
Exactly, and I just look like Noel Edmonds, but anyway.
I'm not quite sure on my one looked a bit squashed, but it looks fun.
That's all right, it's close enough, isn't it? So cool. Cheers, Paul. Thanks very much again. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, cheers. Take care. Bye.
If you like this content, then make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, just give us a thumbs down and pop a comment below if you have any questions, and we will be glad to help.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to keep up to date and see our weekly vlogs, and then also hit the bell for the notifications. And if you want to follow more of what we're doing across our website and social media, the website is marketingchinwag.com, or you can drop us an email at hello@marketingchinwag.com.